Welcome to the Sim Podcast. I'm your co-host, Eric, and I'm always joined by my co-host, Ron. What a Ron.
What's going on?
You know what we do. We talk about the National Football League on a weekly basis, including the playoffs, Ron. This is episode 147. We're talking about Championship Sunday, Ron. How are you feeling?
I feel good, man. Listen, football's winding down. It's kind of sad, but we had some good playoff games last week. We should have had some really good games this week in the conference finals. We got the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. Steelers got their coaching search still going on. I'm still looking for a hotel to stay in Pittsburgh for the draft. Can't find one under $1,000. But yeah, everything's looking good.
Pittsburgh's not a big city.
No.
But you can probably look outside, but then you have to take a Uber, right?
Yeah, I want to be in the mix, like downtown, like in the craziness of like the NFL draft.
I always say these type of events, you gotta jump on it months in advance.
I should have when they made the announcement, but then they were like, "Oh, where's it exactly going to be?" Like we're in Pittsburgh. They're kind of like holding out a lot of that, but I should have just jumped on it, and just booked my hotel and all that stuff ahead of time. So what do we have today? We're going to talk about the NFL news, a lot of head coaching changes. We're going to talk about the divisional round last week, and then we'll have our Championship Sunday matchups predictions. Ron, first things first, I don't know we got to touch on it, but Harbaugh to the New York Giants. What does this mean? Does that mean like the Giants are Super Bowl bound? No, not at all. But it does give them, I think, a sense of professionalism and stability that was probably missing, from the Giants organization for a while. I think Harbaugh can, change the culture there. Set people straight. I think they need a little bit of that for sure. I think it's a good hire for them for sure. He'll do well with the media and all that stuff. He'll do well with expectations. I think he'll be able to manage that piece of it. He'll find ways to win, and he'll work to improve the roster too. I'm sure he'll have a lot of say so with that piece of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's gonna get the same kind of 15-year plus deal.
No, not at all.
With Baltimore. I'm gonna give him 3 years before the reporters start questioning what are we doing here.
You think he's gonna fail?
No, I think he's gonna have maybe like a 500 plus.
Right.
But I'm thinking 3 years to at least make it to a conference championship.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And
that's asking a lot.
That is asking a lot, but we're talking about
just a team that's won like 4 or 5 games the last few years.
He has a quarterback there.
Dude,
he has a good defense.
He has a quarterback.
If you can talk him out of the blue tent, you have a quarterback there.
I don't know exactly. You
have wide receivers.
Well, one coming off a major injury now.
You still have
one wide receiver.
You got good tight ends. I mean, he has enough. I'm not saying they're gonna start winning right away, but 3 years is what I give him.
Yeah,
3 years.
Well, we'll see.
The other head coaching news is Stefanski to Atlanta. They had a defensive coach in Raheem Morris. Now they have an offensive coach in Stefanski. But the quarterback situation is still up in the air.
Yeah.
So who do you think starts next year? Cousins or Penix?
I have no idea. So they got rid of everybody, including the GM there in Atlanta, and they gave Matt Ryan that whatever position, director of operations. I don't know exactly what the position is, but he now has to go out and find a GM, a coach, and all that other thing. Well, they got Stefanski, but he's still looking for the GM. Interestingly, they interviewed Andy Weidel, who's basically an assistant GM for the Steelers. So that is that would be a huge loss for Pittsburgh, because he's the one who puts together like our draft board and stuff. He's been with like the Eagles. He's the one who got them, worked with the Eagles to get that roster to where it is. So that would be a great hire for them.
But as far as Stefanski goes, I don't know. I thought Raheem Morris was a good coach. Defensive minded, yes. Quarterback, I don't know. A lot riding on Penix because that was your first round pick, 2 years ago, whatever. But you drafted him. The old regime drafted him. So you're not necessarily tied to him. You know, Penix came with like a huge injury risk. So, you know, I can see them trying to figure out how to get out of Cousins' contract. And then, you know, looking either this year or next year in the draft. Maybe they give Penix one more year. See if he can come back and do something.
I mean, he's under rookie contract, and, you know, if they think he's not going to do well, maybe they'll put him as a backup. I don't know. I want to see how this turns out because the NFC South is always open for anybody to win it.
Yeah.
So the other news, the Bills fired McDermott. We put him in the hot seat at the beginning of the year, but it's kind of weird that they win the division, they win the wild card, they lose to the divisional game, and then they fire McDermott.
I don't find that weird at all.
I mean, he got you to the playoffs, though.
How many times has Tomlin got you to the playoffs?
19 years.
Harbaugh, how many times have he gotten you to the playoffs?
At least the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a result-oriented business, right? And this had to be the year. And I know there's a lot of conflict, and there is. And you saw today with like the press conference from the owner and how he threw McDermott under the bus. But, you know, there's a belief that the Bills had the roster this year. I don't think they did. That if you don't have playoffs with Mahomes playing, with Lamar playing, who am I missing? With any of the other greats, with Burrow not playing, that Josh Allen you should be able to propel him and propel the Bills into the Super Bowl, right? Because, I mean, how many years would it take when you finally say, no, you've had enough time, you have what we think is the greatest player on the planet, why can't you get over the hump?
Well, for one thing, it's not just McDermott being the GM gave Allen the $50 million with no money left over to get any star wide receivers. I mean, Brandon Cooks, you just picked them up.
Yeah.
Because you need a wide receiver. And then, what's that? Coleman?
Yeah, Keon Coleman's the one that was the draft.
Got threw under the bus. I just don't know. I would have fired both of them. I would have been like, goodbye to you and the GM.
Yeah, clean house and start afresh. Just what Pittsburgh's doing.
Yeah, it's like, if you know, now that the Patriots have a quarterback, you know you have competition next year for that AFC East title division. So why not just start over? Just, hey, clean up shop. But I don't know what Bean is going to do. Well, he has a plan, but now you got people fighting for that head coaching job.
Right.
Because they have a quarterback there.
I do want to say this, right? So a lot of people are saying, well, we'll talk about the game, I guess. You know, that pass interference, or not pass interference. Well, they question that too, but the catch or no catch, that is the difference in what caused him the job. And I don't look at it that way at all. I don't think anyone should look. There were tons of mistakes made throughout the game. Like Josh Allen made tons of mistakes in the game. The defense had tons of opportunities to get stops. You had tons of chances throughout the season. Imagine if they had won one more game or two more games and had the home seed and, advantage. They might not even have been in this situation. So I don't think you can put all his failures in just one bad call. No, it's like what you've done the entire year, the entire game, that all adds up. And, it is what it is. I think if they were still in it and they were to lose this weekend, he would still be fired.
His time was coming up. He's been with Josh Allen since like 2018, 2019, whenever he was drafted, and they still this as far as they got. So
right. That's what I'm saying. And, I didn't think I never had Harbaugh on the hot seat, but I can see for the Ravens too, when there was more friction there too, between Lamar and the coaching staff and all that stuff. So that had a lot to do with it too. But, again, like it's a results oriented league. You have to, what does it say to your players? You're talking about a sport where the average, career span is like a year and a half for players, right? There's not everyone is playing 4, 5, 6+ years. The majority of people are playing like a year and a half, 2 years in the league. What does it say if those guys are playing a year and a half? You get 6, 7 years and you're underperforming as a coach and you keep getting extensions. Like, how is that, to me, that's how is that fair that the guys that you're bringing in and you're supposed to be developing, they're not getting second and third chances, not all of them, but you're over here underperforming or not meeting their expectations, whether they're real or not,
So, because you can say that about the Steelers.
Exactly.
And so what's the difference between the Bills owner and the Steelers owner?
I don't think there is a difference. I think
there should be a difference. You just said that if you don't not meet expectations within 3 to 4 years, which is a lifespan, why you still got the job then?
Oh, so you're asking why did Tomlin stay so long?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
You know that I was calling for Tomlin's departure.
Oh, yeah, I had a long time ago.
A lot of people were. I'm not the only one. A lot of fans were. They thought he should have been fired 3-4 years ago. But that's not the Pittsburgh way either, right? That's not Rooney's way. So, and it's not to say Tomlin's not a good coach, and it's not to say McDermott's not a good coach. They're both good coaches.
No, they're both
Harbaugh
good coaches. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I'm paying you to win a Super Bowl, that's the goal. You keep falling short. Why do I keep paying you and expect something to change? I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't know how much McDermott was making, but it got to be in the millions. The other head coaching change, Robert Saleh to the Titans. This is interesting because right after that, he interviewed McDaniels for the offense coordinator, but McDaniels ended up going to the Chargers.
Wisely.
So, and Saleh doesn't like the Jacksonville coach. They almost fought this year, actually, when they played. So this should be interesting, but they don't have a QB in Tennessee. Like, would you say Cam Ward?
It's not even that they don't. I think they have a quarterback. Cam Ward is going to be their future. They have to put some pieces around him. The question is Saleh the right person? Because he's a defensive coach. Is he going to bring the right people to develop Ward and put a good offense out there? I almost feel like he's repeating the same mistake with the Jets. Now, the Jets are like one of the most dysfunctional teams. But Tennessee is no better to me, right? How many coaches have they fired in the last like 6 or 7 years or so without a plan? So I'm a little bit worried for him because I don't think they would. I think their idea of where they should be with Cam Ward is not realistic, and they would expect Saleh in like a year or two to get that team into the playoffs. And you're talking about a team that won. How many games did the Titans win this year? 3? I mean, maybe that roster's not that good.
No, it's not that good.
You can't bring somebody in just because you think he's a good coach and expect him to turn things around in a year or two. I think that's an unrealistic expectation. And I don't even know. And I think Saleh's a great defensive coordinator again, but I don't know. He hasn't shown me that he can develop anything on the offensive side of the ball.
I mean, he has Zach Wilson, and then he wasn't it. Then he got brought in Aaron Rodgers, and obviously he wasn't it.
Well, yeah.
He got injured, and then he didn't play terrible the second year, but he didn't make the playoffs. So, I don't know if that's an upgrade or they're just like settling for Saleh.
I think it's just the team culture thing. It's just a bad job. It's just not a good job. I don't know what else to say. There's good jobs and bad jobs. And, if you put a good coach at a bad job, it's, no guarantee that he's going to succeed.
So I said Harbaugh 3 years. I give Salah maybe 2.
Yeah.
To at least not make the playoffs, but at least be like 500.
So that's what I'm worried about. If he's not 500, like within 2 years, if they don't see a big jump next year,
I mean,
that team, that coach, that owner, excuse me, I could see them making a move.
And the funny thing is, like, the time they're getting a new stadium, the Bills, they're getting a new stadium. Yeah, it's all these teams that really, they want to make a flash introduction, but they're not going to be good. So, well, maybe the Bills with Josh Allen, but I don't know about Tennessee. McDaniels to the Chargers, as I mentioned before. He's upgrading quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah, I think this is low-key a really good pick. You talk about like two completely opposite people, with Harbaugh and McDaniels, and what Harbaugh likes to do, and what he's obviously trying to infuse youth in the system, new ideas and stuff like that. How well that will work, I don't know. We just saw what happened in Vegas with
Chip Kelly
and the head coach that was fired. They try to do a mix of offenses, and that was a complete disaster. So we'll see. This is the AFC. The Chargers and Harbaugh want to be that physical, thumping type of offense. McDaniel's all about speed, right? We'll see how if he's able to blend it. But I think I think he can have success because he has the quarterback that can throw the ball downfield. So he just needs to get the players now. There's no Tyreek Hill on that team. There's no, speedsters.
But he has McConkley. He has Quentin Johnson. He has some receivers there.
Yeah,
I think he'll make it work. Let's talk about last week, Ron. Let's talk about the games itself. There was two overtime games, one dud of a game, and then the Pats-Texans game. So let's start with the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. I saw the interview at when the game was over, and Josh Allen was like, "Oh, I let my team down."
You did,
and really, you can't argue with that.
No, 2 interceptions. Did he have 2 fumbles lost? 3 fumbles, 2 lost. You can't have that amount of like turnovers and expect to win. Now they almost did it, but yeah, you didn't play well in the biggest game, and you needed to have a good game and put the Superman cape on, and you couldn't do it.
So I know that Bo Nix got injured at the end of the game, but it's not like he was lighting this game on fire, right?
He didn't play. No. I remember at one point he was, if I remember correctly, he was like below 50%, and then he started to like get hotter. But I don't think he necessarily played that great. But I think they did enough. Passing the ball. They stuck with the run, even though they didn't have a lot of success with it. I was waiting for them and wondering why they just they were doing some weird thing with like the running situation by putting McLaughlin in. And I'm like, why is RJ Harvey not getting more carries? He is your most explosive player, period, on that offense. Why aren't you getting the ball to him? And Harvey did get 5 receptions. But I think there were just a lot of like, Buffalo just gave them a lot of opportunities, basically with their turnovers, and they took advantage of them.
I mean, do you want Bo Nix throwing 46 times in a game? That just seems like a lot to me. I mean, I know he's not going to be there next week, but I don't know. They had a good second quarter, and then it all went like the shit, basically, because they let the Buffalo Bills back in. And we talked about that last play that cost the Bills the game. Are the refs getting worse and worse?
I don't know if they can get any worse. I think I don't know what to say about officiating NFL. It's not nothing that you say is going to make a difference. It's not like they're going to go and do something different, with the officiating. So it is what it is at this point.
Because I thought that replay was going to make things clearer, right? But it's like the opposite.
I don't even think it's the replay. It's just the rules. Like, what is a catch and what's not a catch? What is possession? What's not possession? It's not clearly outlined. And, I think they try to get a little bit too perfect with the rules, with the wording and all that stuff. And sometimes it just makes it more muddy and open for interpretation. So, I personally looked at that play and I thought when I looked at it real time, full speed, that it was an interception. I didn't see that, the receiver, had possession at any point, but when you slow it down,
yes,
when
you slow it down, you're like, oh, his knee's down.
You're gonna find a frame with his knee touching the floor that might have lasted 0.005 seconds.
But you know what? It is true. Like, you can't just say, oh, that one play cost us the game, because when you look back, like you mentioned, Josh Allen,
exactly,
3 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Like, at some point, you gotta look in the mirror and just be like,
exactly.
So when McDermott was at the podium, blaming the refs,
that was just a bad look. And I think it was a look of a person who knew he's about to get fired, to be honest with you. And I'm sure they probably talked to him at the beginning of the year and like, listen, you need to get over the hump. And I'm sure they've had those conversations throughout the year, say, hey, this needs to be it. So he probably saw it coming and wanted to do that last minute. Well, this is why I'm lost, to see if it would save his job. And no, it
sure did not.
It did not work.
Okay, so no Bo Nix, Nick, and we'll talk about that matchup. Saturday night game. Full disclosure, I did not watch this game live, but Seattle just handled their business. I mean, what can you say? We both picked Seattle to win, but we didn't think it was going to be a blowout.
It was over from jump, literally with the opening kick return for a touchdown. That game was over. And I've told everyone Seattle's a really, really, really good team. And I saw the way they came in and physically beat up Pittsburgh, which not a lot of teams physically beat up the Steelers. I saw, when they did that to them, I was like, damn, they're going to be a tough out. And they did what they needed to. Now, they had a huge loss. I think no one's really talking about it, but Zach Charbonnet gone for the season with the ACL.
Yep. That's
the backup. I don't even want to call him a backup because those guys were sharing, splitting 60-40, right? That's a huge part of their offense is, Charbonnet. So can Kenneth Walker hold up for 2 more games and carry the load for the running game? That's going to be, we'll see if he can do that. But that, I think the Charbonnet loss is big.
I mean, between then, they had almost 200 yards, and Sam Darnold didn't do much. 17 throws. I mean, under 150 yards at 124. He just didn't do much.
Yeah.
He didn't have to because Seattle was dominating.
Yeah. Look at Charbonnet's numbers. 730 yards rushing on the season on 184 carries. 12 rushing touchdowns on the season for Charbonnet, and that's gone now with his injury. So, again, it's a big loss. And they got a big game this week. But, Kenneth Walker on the, he looked healthy though. And that might be, I don't think he was as healthy now I think he's healthier now than he was in the earlier part of the season. So, we'll see if he can carry them down the stretch.
I want to see Sam Darnold in action because I feel like, obviously, he had a bye week, and then this week he didn't have to do a lot. But I want to see him, because this week he'll have to do a lot. Not just hand the ball off, do some. But he has good wide receivers, so we'll see. Let's skip the New England game and let's get to the Sunday night game. The Rams are Chicago Bears. you said that you went with Caleb Williams to win this game. I went with Stafford. But they went into overtime, and you blame DJ Moore.
Oh, there's no doubt. It was DJ Moore's fault.
But I felt like why go for the kill when you already had the ball, you already have possession of the ball. Why take the risk?
So you're blaming the coach for calling the play.
100%.
The play design was absolutely perfect. Like if Moore runs the right route, he would have been wide open, not even close, like wide open. And that would have automatically put them in field goal position. Now they had a lot of time, so time wasn't an issue. They didn't need to run that play. They could have run some safer plays, easier plays, right? And just like nickel and dime themselves up the field and kick the field goal. Yes, I agree.
I mean, they were running the ball pretty well. The Bears were, and 3 interceptions from Williams is kind of a lot in this kind of game.
Yeah. He didn't play I'm not saying he played his best. I don't think, that interception was, I wouldn't put that on him necessarily. But, it was a good game though.
It was still a good game
and a great season for them regardless.
Yeah.
They should have found a way to win it at the end. They didn't. But I think the future is bright for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I think Williams and what's his name? Ben Johnson. They're gonna answer some questions in the offseason. But I think that division is always gonna be difficult. Especially now, you have Detroit eventually getting an offensive coordinator that works. Minnesota, it's maybe JJ McCarthy is the player.
We'll see.
Sometimes he has good games tonight, bad games, and Matt LaFleur is coming back. Doesn't mean that he's going to be successful with Love in the playoffs, but that's a really tough division, and I feel like this was a moment for them to grasp it.
Yeah.
Now, I can't say that about them next year.
Yeah.
And the Rams, the Rams did their thing. It's not like Stafford was, blowing people out the water.
No.
He managed the game, which was what you're supposed to do in the playoffs.
Stafford is a great quarterback when he's sitting there in the pocket with a bunch of time. He's one of the best quarterbacks, like top 5, and he's top 5 either way. But it is a big difference when he has a bunch of time and when he has to move his feet. And I think Chicago did a good job of forcing him out the pocket a lot and making him feel uncomfortable in the pocket. And he was not the same quarterback whatsoever. And you would expect that from a guy that is his age anyways. He's not going to want to take those type of hits, not in the cold, especially.
Yeah. I mean, there was 4 sacks given up compared to Chicago, who had none because Williams can move his feet. I just expected more from the Bears. That's what I'm saying. I know the weather was bad and it was snowing and all that stuff, and the wind was terrible, but
yeah, I guess where I'm going, we'll get to next week's game shortly, but Seattle's defense is not going to make life easy. And although the Rams had a chance to beat Seattle, if you look at the numbers, I think Stafford threw for 150 yards against Seattle the first time. He had a rough day too. So it's going to be difficult, for them, knowing that they're going up a really good defense. And, Stafford, again, when he has to move his feet and stuff, it's not the same player. No one is really.
Yeah, that's tough. Let's talk about the Patriots versus the Texans, because we watched this game. And I told you before the game last week, Stroud is not having his best year. And you were like, no. He can turn it around. He can.
So not having your best year and having 4 interceptions are 2 different things. I just thought
back to back.
I did not expect him to have back-to-back horrible games. I expected him to have an okay game right? Just like he's had an okay season. And I expected that to be just enough. If he had an average game, the Texans probably win because the Texans defense was playing really, really good. Drake May was making some mistakes himself, and they could have won the game. But Stroud was so bad, like he was in Pittsburgh, it was just too much to overcome. The difference, I think, between these games is Pittsburgh offensively couldn't do jack, whereas New England, they were able to score, 3 times. So, yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. I did not expect Stroud to have that bad of a game. I thought he'd play okay, maybe get 220 yards or so, and that would be sufficient because that defense was really good. But no, he gave up. Did he throw a pick 6 this game?
Yep.
Yeah.
Threw a pick 6.
So he gave up 7 points right there. Had 4 interceptions altogether. And did he have any fumbles too on top of that? No fumbles, but four picks.
I mean,
and weren't they all like in the first half or something like that?
I don't know if they were all in the first half. I know they came out in the second half and they tried to like mitigate. They did something where they were running the ball and they were moving the ball, but they couldn't score. They couldn't score.
The interceptions were in the first half, and I was telling you, and I was just talking to my cousin too. I was like, they need to bench him. Like, they need to put David Mills in the second quarter, not wait till the halftime. Put him in right now because Stroud is not checked in mentally. His throws are bad. His feet mechanics are bad. He is just seeing ghosts out there. Put David Mills in for the second quarter. Pray that he doesn't throw another interception, right? And at least manage the game, to the halftime, and then see if you can have a conversation with Stroud. Say, listen, 4 interceptions is not good, or 3 interceptions at that point is not good. You need to figure it out. Right. And then maybe pull him back out. That's how if I was the head coach, that's what I would have done.
See, I think that works in college, not in the NFL.
Why not?
Because then he has 3 years left in his contract.
I was about to cut.
You're
Forget the 3 years.
No.
And this is the same argument I had with my cousin.
Next year, they don't have a quarterback then. Next year, they don't have a quarterback.
When you are playing in the playoffs, you would be a fool to think about tomorrow, the next week, next year. You're thinking about, what can I do as a coach to get through this one game?
The players might be thinking now.
Yes.
But the coach thinking, my job is on the line. So,
and shouldn't you try to win? Shouldn't you do everything? And I'm not saying, again,
he got interviewed right before halftime, and he said
he committed.
He committed to, I'm going to stick to Stroud.
I do think once he made it to halftime, I was like, okay, well, they're going to bring him back in. There's no way they're going to go in after throwing 4 interceptions and say, oh no, we're going somewhere else. That's why I think they had to do it like in the second quarter. Say, dude, you're not playing well. We're going to give you a little bit of a break. Put Mills in. Let's see if you can figure things out between now and our halftime speech, so I can bring you back out and be ready for the third quarter. I think that's how they should have handled it, because what message are you sending? If there was a running back that fumbled 3 times, you think he would be playing?
They did that with Ramondre. He fumbled all those times.
No, I'm talking about in the same game. Would they not have pulled him out?
Yeah, but you have 3 backup running backs. What are you going to put?
If there's a receiver that drops 5 balls in a row, you're not going to pull him out.
I've only seen that in baseball, and that's because you know when the pitcher doesn't have it. It just get him out. But
right. But that's how it should be at these games. I'm not talking a regular season game. Work it through. But in a final elimination game, you're trying to do everything you try to win. Because what are you saying to your defense that's busting their butt? You got a guy over here turning the ball over. It's good to say, yeah, we got your back and all that. Say that after, right?
I think
but if he was
going to go with David Mills, he should have done it from Monday. No, David Mills is taking first snap reps.
I would have went into the game saying that your last performance against Pittsburgh, that has me worried, and I have a plan for you. I'm putting you out there in the first quarter. I want to see what you do. If you If I see that you don't have it, I'm going to this next option.
Well, that's what having a plan is different than what happened on Sunday, where there was no plan.
Apparently
he doubled down at halftime.
Disbelief, right?
He doubled down at halftime.
Now he played better after halftime.
Yeah, because they just decided
6 points.
Yeah, they just decided we're not going to throw the ball anymore.
Yeah, what's that say? I think either way, you're asking about Stroud's future. Well, Stroud's future, you're still looking at these last 2 games saying, damn, I don't know if I have a franchise quarterback anymore. I don't know if I'm going to pick up his option anymore, because look at these last 2 performances. You're stuck in the same boat anyway. And maybe it's ruthless or whatever, and you can call me ruthless, but that's what I'm doing. I don't care who the quarterback is, right? It's not like he's Aaron Rodgers or, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. Yeah, you go down the ship with those Hall of Fame guys. But I'm not going down with a ship, and I'm allowing my team to go down with a ship. If you're throwing interceptions left and right, I'm doing what I can as a coach to put my players, the best players on the field, so I can win this game.
Well, I got to say this. Stroud was terrible. And it's not like the running game was saving them.
No. But we knew that was going to be
2.2 a carry.
Yeah, we knew that they had their struggles. That was going to be a problem.
The Patriots defense is definitely disrespected and underrated.
I think so. Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Because you know what? Let's get into next week's game, because I want to talk about the.
Before we do, are you concerned with May and how he's playing?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
No
because
concerns.
We're talking about Texas defense, which is top 5, and Chargers defense, which is top 5. He's facing the best defenses in the AFC. Second-year rookie. Second-year player. What do you want? Perfection? It's not going to happen.
But are you concerned that he's going to have another game where he turns the ball over?
Yes, he's going to have 2 fumbles. That's automatic.
Yeah.
But you take the good and the bad.
Yes. Okay.
You take the good and the bad. So let's talk about Championship Sunday. And let's talk about, we're going to skip the 3 o'clock game and we're going to go to the Rams at Seattle. Seattle's favored by 2.5. 47.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
I am going with Seattle. I'm taking them all the way to the Super Bowl. Speaking of which, I think I had mentioned to you, I had Seattle winning the Super Bowl as part of my bet. And I was like, man, I could make some money if I just cash out right now. Seattle's probably going to have a hiccup somewhere or there. So I think it was week 17. I was like, Seattle's playing really well. Let me get my money. Let's just take my money and let me cash out. I'm regretting that right now because I can't see them not making the Super Bowl. But anyway, back to the game. I have Seattle winning. I think Stafford will do what he can, have some magic to keep it close. But I got Seattle winning 26-23.
I have Seattle winning this game 32-24. I just have a little bit of doubt in Sam Darnold. I feel like this is either his come out game or his I shit my pants. I don't know. Because I trust
he's
Seattle.
Had a come out season so far. I think he's been.
But you can say that with Minnesota.
The last 2 seasons, 14 wins.
So why did Minnesota trade him though?
I don't know.
I mean, JJ was still rehabbing and he wasn't going to be 100% when he came back. So what? You didn't want to give him an extension?
They put all their chips in the rookie.
I feel like Kevin McConnell knows something that we don't know about Sam Darnold, and he just doesn't want to share it. Something happened where they were like, no, we're just going to go with Jay. That has me 10% doubtful. But like you said, this is going to be outside. We know Stafford doesn't do well outside games. I still got Seattle winning this, but listen, I'm not going to be surprised if Sam Darnold messes this up somehow.
Yeah.
Because they won a lot. What was it? The second to last game, they won by 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a close game. Like you mentioned earlier, no Charbonnet.
Yeah.
It's going to be all Walker.
Yeah. Yep.
But they do have good receivers and they do have a good tight end. So
This is going to be an interesting game. This is a Sunday night, 6 p.m. game. The 3 p.m. game is New England at Denver. New England's favored by 5.5. 42.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I have. Listen, I can't see Stidham going out there and having a good game. I think if he was to go out there and throw for like 250 and a couple touchdowns, that I could see Denver having a path to winning the game, but I just don't see that happening. So now I do think New England will score, but I also see, like we just talked about, May doing some dumb things and turning the ball over here and there. We'll see about Stevenson too. I think he is huge to that team. I would, if I'm Denver, test out his able to hold on to the ball and see if I can get a fumble from him or not. But I got New England winning 24-17.
You're a believer. Let me just say something about Stevenson. He hasn't fumbled since week 3.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's going to fumble this game. I think you're right. He's going to be tested.
Wasn't he out for a couple games too, or no?
I mean, he was out for 2 games, but still has fumbled. And last game against the Texans, he didn't play in the second quarter. Somebody poked his eye. So I looked up Football Reference because, like I said, Drake May is going to fumble the ball. That's just a given. With the offensive line being bad, the left side being bad. So I looked it up. He fumbled twice, obviously against the Chargers, against the Texans, and then twice against Atlanta and the Browns. So whenever there's a good defense, just expect May to fumble the ball away. Whether it's his fault or the line, but like I mentioned before, you take the bad with the good.
Yeah, he's gonna make some plays.
He's gonna make plays, whether his feet or his throws, like that catch with the booty. That was a great catch. But ultimately, I have New England winning 28-14. I think Stidham is not gonna be super, but he's not gonna be bad to the point where like he's gonna put the ball in danger. He's gonna be very conservative.
Yeah.
He's not gonna, go out of his way and take any risk. I'm sure Champagne is like, you're not gonna go deep. You're not gonna go some dink dunks there and there, but
I don't think you can win that way though against good teams.
No,
good defenses,
especially the Patriots defense, which they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher all through the season, and this Patriots team is undefeated on the road. They haven't lost on the road. They actually play better on the road than they do at home. I just don't see Denver winning this game unless May fumbles the ball inside the 20 and gives some points away. But again, that New England defense just keeps saving his butt.
Yeah.
And they just keep doing it over and over again. I saw Milton Williams interview this week and he was just like, we're not getting any respect. I don't know why, but the defense is good. Special teams is really good. This is giving me 2001 vibes.
Yeah.
Where no one thinks, oh, this team, whatever. Ultimately, you and I agree that it's going to be New England versus Seattle in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Neither of these teams were our original pick.
No.
Let me just go back to what we picked all the way back. So you picked Buffalo against, who was it? Buffalo against Philly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Philly.
And I picked, who did I pick to win the conference? I think I had Baltimore winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, for some reason I didn't mark it.
Yeah, I don't see it here. I know
But
you.
I'm pretty sure it was Baltimore against Cincinnati. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, this is crazy. And
Boy, Baltimore against who though in the Super Bowl?
it's Baltimore. I think at Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa all the way.
Yeah, I think I had Tampa all the way.
Mm.
Yeah, it's for some reason we have not filled it in for my name. But
Let me ask you this, because I heard someone. I was listening to a podcast today, and let's assume Bo Nix was playing this week. How would you rank these teams? And I'll give you their ranking first, and let me know if you agree with this or not. They had Seattle first, Rams second, Denver third, Patriots four.
yeah, I could see that ranking.
Do you agree with it?
I mean, I don't agree with it, but look at what's happening.
What's your ranking?
happening.
What's your ranking of these four remaining teams?
With Bo Nix, I would have Seattle first. I don't trust LA Rams defense. So I would have them. I would actually have them fourth. So I would go Seattle, Denver, New England, LA.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But now that Bo Nix is out, I mean, to be honest, Bo Nix is a better athlete than Stidham, but they're basically the same. Passing the same. Listen, there's not a big drop off like people think. I know that Stidham has been getting so much hype. I saw some.
He hasn't played in like 2 years, basically.
But people are digging like stuff up, like, oh, he went to Auburn. He went to Auburn. Oh,
trying to psych their fans up or something.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? This is like a last minute drop.
Yeah.
He just dropping in to manage this game. He's not gonna do much more than just manage the game. I can almost see his stat line. He's gonna have under 200 yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he can get to like 225 or something like that, maybe they have a chance.
I mean, if they break one, but this Patriot defense has rarely let somebody score on them. I don't know. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun game. I just don't see the path.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah. I got to deal with you and the Patriot fans for another 3 weeks, basically.
Oh, and if my predictions turn around right, I'm having a Super Bowl party. I am going all out.
I will show up here in Seattle gear or whoever you guys end up playing.
Just wasting your money. Just wasting your money. I'm glad that you say wasting your money.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
You should just come with your Steelers gear. You should just be supporting your team. I mean, I'm looking around and I'm just going like, because I went back and looked at who the Broncos play, and same thing as Houston. They haven't played a quarterback. I'm looking at the games. The last game that they played, Chargers. Who was the quarterback? Lance. The Chiefs. Who was the quarterback? Some no name. They got off the street. I don't even know who that dude was. When I look at who they played, here it is, Kansas City. Chris Olodunku. Who is that?
Oh, yeah.
Who is that guy?
He was on the Steelers at one point.
Terrible.
Yeah.
The Raiders, we already know. Terrible team. They played them twice. Geno Smith. Then I look at Commanders. Who was there? Marcus Mariota. It's not like this. They're giving this team a lot of fine. They were number one in points allowed, but they didn't play any real QBs.
Yeah.
So I am super excited about this game.
Don't lose. Don't.
This is not going to be
the house money nonsense.
This is not going to be a choke job.
Yeah.
Because absolutely no one expected the Patriots.
Yeah, but now that they are here, I would say just like a lot of the money is going to be almost all the money.
I mean, 5.5. Vegas is saying, hey, if you think you can beat 5.5, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you look at the Broncos, can they score with Stidham? That's the question.
Yeah.
Can they score? Yeah, you have a good defense, but we said that about the Texans, they couldn't score. We said that about the Chargers, they couldn't score. So we'll see. However, they do have a really, really good offensive line. So I'll give them that much. But I don't know. I have to see this game, but I'm making plans right now. I'm looking at like what do I want to do for this Super Bowl party? Or do I want to watch it at a bar where I don't have to like worry about anything and just concentrate on the game? Because when you're hosting a Super Bowl party,
true. Yeah, and it's your team.
Food,
yeah,
people talking to you.
Yeah,
you're like,
it's different if you don't care who wins. You can just relax or whatever. But
I'm also thinking, Bad Bunny's gonna be a halftime show. So do I want? They're not gonna crank the music at a bar.
No.
So yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. Why don't you come? I'll throw a party for you if you want a party at my house.
You throw a party. Because it's different when you have kids and you have to entertain them as well. It's not like they're gonna be like, "Oh, who's the score up?" And then we talk about the non-football fans.
Oh God, yeah. Seriously.
You have to think about
they'll
these
be talking
things.
about halftime in the first quarter. When's the halftime show?
They'll be talking about, I don't like this commercial. Yeah. Who cares?
Seriously.
Who cares? All right. What you'd have to tell the fans out there, not just Steelers fans, but overall.
Listen, man, enjoy these games this weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed college football. We didn't talk about that, but that was an exciting college football final as well on Monday, and that's over with. But yeah, as we wrap the season up, I expect to see some good games here this weekend, and then obviously for the Super Bowl. And then we are right into it with the, college Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl and the Combine. I think it's sometime in February, and we're right basically into the off season here pretty quickly.
See, you're already thinking about the off season already, because you're like, oh, my team is out. We don't have a coach. I'm already thinking.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm not thinking about the off season. I'm thinking about Sunday game.
Yeah, it's completely different.
It's game.
Different if your team's still in it when your season comes to a halt. It's like, okay.
Nope. I'm thinking about, what are we, like 16 wins already? That's amazing. That's amazing. 4 wins last year, 4 wins the year before. This is just great. Well,
maybe Salah can do it then. We'll see.
You know what? There was a chance, when the odds came out, odds making, we were like, 8 games. Wow, that's a big jump. But the fact that Drake May almost like went another level, I was just like, wow, this is a different animal. So next week we'll have the Pro Bowl, we have the NFL awards, we'll have episode 148, and then
Pro Bowl's here in Orlando.
Pro Bowl is going to be I think it's San Francisco.
Oh, this is okay.
I think. Now, don't quote me on that because I haven't seen it. I've seen commercials, but they never say where. And it's like, oh, flag football for the best players. They don't play all the time.
Yeah.
No, it's just, this is just like, if you feel like playing, if you feel like shaking hands with kids and taking photos, then come to this Pro Bowl game.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're already getting paid for just making the Pro Bowl. You don't have to play in it.
Right.
You can just go out with your family if you have one. So next week we'll have episode 148, and then we'll know who the Super Bowl champions of each conference are going to face. And whoa, let's go the other way. If Denver wins and Rams win, is this going to be okay for the NFL?
This will be terrible. If Denver wins. I would imagine if Denver wins, I'm going to go back to your ranking these teams. Most people would have Denver as the fourth team with or without Bo Nix. So now you're talking about if Stidham is your Super Bowl quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. How you going to advertise it?
Yeah, this will be terrible.
You have to rewrite everything.
Yeah. And I don't know. Has there been a game where a backup quarterback is playing as your starting quarterback in the Super Bowl? Outside of like way back, like Giants.
Yeah, way back. Like we're talking about like Johnny Unitas. I think that is.
Well, I guess the Philly Eagles, right? When
Nick Foles came in. Yeah. I mean, it has happened, but
trust me, the NFL doesn't want that.
No, I think that they want the best teams, which is New England and Seattle. So let's stick with that. All right. On that note, I say peace.
Peace. All right. That's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Thanks so much for all your support and listening today. If you got any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. That's SYMSPORTSMEDIA@gmail.com. Peace.
Sim Podcast Show.